And now we move to putting the spotlight on jumbo jets. More specifically, 4-engine civilian aircraft, including Boeing 747s, A340s, and A380s. All of these aircrafts may be banned from Israel's Ben Gurion International Airport. This according to the Israel Airports Authority. Now, the company says it aims to reduce noise and air pollution associated with these planes, and this reform is set to come into effect in March 2023. And joining me now from Central Israel as well is Maya Jacobs, the CEO of the Center for Climate Restoration. Thank you very much for being with us on the show this evening. The first question is, where did this reform come from? It wasn't just out of thin air, so to speak. How bad is Israel's air and noise pollution that the airport authorities now trying to combat it?
First of all, I must say that it was a very happy surprise for us too. It's not something that we saw coming. There was no primer conversation about it, and suddenly they came out with this piece of news, which is very happy to find out. Israel is a very small country, and as such, we're very much exposed all the time to a lot of noise and to a lot of pollution from many sources. And there is talk, at least, of needing to reduce pollution in all aspects, noise pollution and air pollution alike. And this actually is the first ever action that the Israeli Port Authority is actually doing to change this reality, and we're very happy about this idea and this decision to do.
Definitely a way forward in terms of the green agenda, but will the move affect major airlines flying into Israel's primary international airport?
I very much hope so, I must say. I mean, it's a known fact that flights are one of the biggest polluting problems, and they're the biggest contributors to climate change. In our area, in Israel, is considered a hot spot, which means that when Europe is now suffering 40 degrees Celsius, Israel is going to suffer 50 degrees Celsius. Everything is going to be a lot warmer here, a lot more difficult. And we have to do everything within our power to reduce every type of pollution and contribution to the climate change in our area. So we're very happy with this, and we hope that this will be a mark for the future, and that future airplanes will not be allowed to come into the area. And I do think that this should happen and be a catalysator for the airline companies to push forward to changing their air fleets and to find new ways to fuel with energy that is not based on fossil fuels and that is not polluting and is not so harmful for the environment.
Right, and I just want to point out to our viewers that at least for the time being, this reform is aiming only to target cargo planes. Most passenger or civilian airplanes that are part of these models are not at the moment flying in. It's more of a two-engine plane from our lack of aviation knowledge. The 4-engine plane, yes, will now stop, but the 2-engine planes are still coming in. The question is, what about exceptions? You know, the President of the United States back in July, Air Force One is a 4-engine plane and a 747. So will exceptions be made at the cost of going green?
Well, you know, the real polluters that should be limited are the private jets. We have a lot of private jets coming into Israel, and if they really wanted to deal with the problem, that would be something that they need to focus on and on targeting that, or at least limiting the amount of time you can fly back and forth if you have a private jet per year, for instance.